Good day, everybody, and welcome to today's episode on my Malaysian YouTube series talking about retirement in Johor Bahru as well as property investment and buying properties in Johor Bahru. And today I'm going to talk about Malaysia, my second home, the Special Economic Zone SEZ category, which is now finally ready to take applications. Yay! As you guys know, or if you have watched my earlier video on the MM2H program in Malaysia, right now in Malaysia, there's actually four MM2H categories. Now, the Malaysia My Second Home, if you don't know, is actually Malaysia's silver hair program or retirement program where they try to attract retirees from all over the world to come and stay in Malaysia. Now, the Malaysia My Second Home recently has had a revamp, and this was done sometime earlier this year. There are four categories, so it's the platinum, gold, silver, and SEZ, which is the special economic zone category. Now, I'm not going to elaborate everything from start because that's going to be quite long. Do watch my earlier video, do search my YouTube series. You can find the earlier video talking about all four categories in general, right? I'm just going to cover today the SEZ category, which is actually also the Johor Bahru category, okay? Which is, I think, of most interest to most people in Singapore, right? And the SEZ category, initially there was some doubts about how this will work. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you why the SEZ category is the best category and also the most popular category, which I think if you are interested to do retirement in Malaysia or Johor Bahru is something that you should look out for. Let's go through in details. Now, in case you're wondering what is the SEZ, right? Johor and the Malaysian and Singapore governments are actually working on a special economic zone, SEZ, right? Which is going to be announced. The latest news we have is on the 9th of December, which is next month, right? The announcement will be made at the next government to government meeting, which will be held in Putrajaya in Malaysia next month. Now, so this is a bit of a early announcement because I'm actually announcing this pre the actual SEZ announcements in December, right? So basically, there's a fourth category for Malaysia My Second Home, which is called the SEZ category, which means that the intention is for you to retire in SEZ, which is basically Johor Bahru. Now, a lot of you are wondering, or the big question that we've had in the past is actually where is this SEZ? Now, the SEZ is basically the whole of Johor Bahru. It covers as high as Senai Kulai, right, all the way to Pasir Gudang in the east, all the way to Gelang Patah in the west. I think generally whatever we define as the Iskandar Malaysia region in the past, all this is SEZ category. So basically anywhere in JB lah, more or less. If you still have any doubt or if you are living in an area somewhere in the ages, you can let me know, right? But I'm quite sure basically all of JB is now considered the special economic zone, right? And Forest City is the special financial zone. So don't confuse the two. SEZ and SFZ, which is the special financial zone for Forest City, are two separate things, right? But yeah, this MM2H covers SEZ, which actually will probably also cover Forest City. Okay, so basically what is the requirements if you want to apply for the Malaysia My Second Home MM2H SEZ? So number one, you must be 21 years of age and above, right? Cannot be younger than 21. When you do the application, when you submit this MM2H application, you can include your family members. And who are your family members? Basically can be your spouse, right? Your children under 21 who are still not working because under 21. Children who are above 21 to 34 also can, provided they are not working or maybe they're still studying and they are not married, right? If they are above 34, means 35 and over, then they have to have their own application because they're considered a separate family unit, right? Or if they're married, then they have to have their own separate application. So you can do this for children below 21 or not married, basically, who are under 34, okay? And you can also include your parents, right? And also your parents-in-law. So basically one family nucleus, right? You can submit under one application. Everybody get approved or get rejected together, okay? So one application. So what do you get in a Malaysia My Second Home application? Once you get approved, you basically get a 10-year visa, right? 10 years. So you can stay in Malaysia for 10 years. Multiple entry visa means you can go in, go out. There's no restriction on how many days you can stay in Malaysia. You can stay in Malaysia as long as you like, as little as you like, right? But you do get a 10-year visa for yourself and everyone within that application, right? And this visa is renewable in 5-year renewal permits. So if the first 10 years are up, right, you can renew for 5 years and 5 years and 5 years and so on and so forth. Okay, so what are the requirements? Other requirements, you must put a fixed deposit in a Malaysian bank of US dollars 65,000 if you are between age 21 to 49. Okay, 65,000 US dollars. If you are 50 years old or older, then it's only 32,000 US dollars, right? Or maybe about 40,000 Sing dollars. So basically this program is targeting retirees. So in most cases, I expect you to be 50 years or older. If that's the case, then you're only doing a US dollar 32,000 only, which is about 40,000 Sing dollars. Now you will notice that of all the Malaysia My Second Home categories, right, this is the one with the least fixed deposit requirement, the least, the easiest, right? And this deposit will need to be in a Malaysian bank. You can earn bank interest, the bank will pay interest on it, right? You'll be in ringgit. So at the point in time when you put the fixed deposit, you'll be in a ringgit equivalent of the US 32,000 or 65,000, depending on your age, right? So the ringgit equivalent sitting in a Malaysian bank, right, for the entire duration of your visa. So 10 years visa, it will be that money will be in the bank for 10 years, right? So this is the requirement. So this is one of the way the government encourage you to buy ringgit. Okay, now 50% of this fixed deposit, right, is withdrawable, right, to buy real estate, to spend on education, healthcare, tourism. Okay, so half of this money can be taken out for, again, real estate, buying real estate, healthcare, tourism, education purposes. Okay, so 50% can be taken out if you want to intend to spend. Basically what you do is you go and apply, right? They will you must show that you get approval or something. Then the government will issue you a letter to allow you to withdraw money from the bank to pay for this cost. So that's how it will happen, right? So the other requirement for the MM2H, for the special economic zone category, the SEZ category, is that you must own a real estate in the SEZ zone. Okay, basically you must own a property in Johor Bahru, more or less, right? To simplify the terms, you must own a property in Johor Bahru, which is the SEZ lah, right? Or if you don't have one, you need to buy one from a property developer. Okay, so there's two things here, right? You must buy from a property developer if you do not have one, and number two is if you already have one, then it's okay. You don't need to buy because you already own one. Okay, so this property cannot be sold for the next 10 years. That means for the duration of your visa. As long as you have a visa, you cannot sell this property. You can sell the property after if you do not renew your MM2H, right? And yeah, so the objective here is basically you have to buy the property, right? And I think the intention is that for you to stay in this property that you are buying in Johor, right? So this property has to be in Johor Bahru, right? Within the SEZ zone, okay, which is still quite large, right? It's basically the whole of Johor Bahru, Iskandar, Malaysia. Okay, so now what is the minimum price for a property in Johor Bahru? I'll go to that later. Okay, there's lots of property ranges. Basically any property that you as a foreigner are eligible to buy, you can buy, and that will meet the requirement, right? We'll talk about that later. Okay, next thing is minimum stays. Now if you are below the age of 50, right, the applicants are below age of 50, you must have a cumulative stay of 90 days a year, 90 days per annum minimum within Malaysia. Okay, so you must spend at least 90 days in a year, right? If there are multiple family members below 50, right? Let's say you have two children who are like 15 years old, right? If they, each of them will cumulative, so if both of them stay 10 days, right, it's equivalent to 20 days worth of stays. Okay, so that's for age 21 to 49. If you are age 50 and above, right, you do not have a minimum stay in Malaysia, right? So again, most retirees who are applying, right, you will not be subjected to this because you are already 50 years old and above. Okay, so how much is the fee for this, right? The agent fee for the Malaysia My Second Home is 40,000 ringgit. Now I understand 40,000 ringgit is high, right? Basically now the government has set a fixed fee. In the past, this fee was not set by the government, so many agents had many models of how to calculate their costs. Right now the government is setting a fixed fee of 40,000 ringgit, which they will service you for the entire period of the Malaysia My Second Home. Okay, why is this SEZ category MM2H the most attractive? Of course, number one, right, the fixed deposit requirements are the lowest, right? If you compare to the next category, which is silver, right, the silver category for MM2H, the minimum FD requirement is 150,000 US, yeah, which is almost 4 times, 5 times, okay, of the SEZ category, right? 150,000 US, and that also the silver category only grant you a 5-year visa, whereas this one grants you 10 years and only require 32,000 US in the best case scenario. So the fixed deposit requirement is very, very low, right? 40,000 Singapore dollars, I believe a lot of people have this money to get the MM2H, and you do get a 10-year visa. So the MM2H is actually, the MM2H SEZ is actually by far the most attractive category, right? Some may argue that the downside is that you have to buy a property in Johor Bahru, whereas the other categories you can buy in other parts of Malaysia. So again, if you're a Singaporean intending to retire in Johor Bahru, then this is not a problem since you already intend to retire in Johor Bahru in the first place. Okay, so I don't think this is a big problem for many Singaporeans, right? For other people who want to retire in Penang or KL, right, this may be a bit of a poser because this category don't really apply to you, and then you have to go for silver, gold, or platinum categories. Okay. Okay, let's do some frequently asked questions about the MM2H SEZ category. So number one, how big is the SEZ, the Special Economic Zone? Basically, it's all 5 flagship zones in Johor Bahru, in Skandar, Malaysia, zone A, B, C, D, E, if you guys are familiar with that. Basically, anywhere in JB, as I mentioned earlier, all the way north to Senai Kulai, all the way east to Pasir Gudang, all the way west to Kelampata. Generally, this whole area in JB is within the SEZ. So hooray, everybody in Johor Bahru uh, benefits. Question number two, what happens if you already own a property in Johor Bahru? Does it mean you need to buy another one? So the answer is no. If you already own a property in Johor Bahru, you already fulfill the property requirement. There is no need to buy another one. Number three, so what is the cheapest property you can buy in Johor Bahru today if you are a foreigner? Well, as I mentioned in my earlier videos, you can buy something in Medini, which is the cheapest, like 300 over 1,000 ringgit to buy a studio apartment in JB, in the Medini zone, although leasehold, but that's the cheapest entry. 300,000 ringgit is not even 100,000 Singapore dollars. Okay, you can buy an entire studio apartment cash. Whereas, well, of course, in other parts of JB, prices can be higher. Of course, in many places, the foreigner threshold is 1 million ringgit, right? Increasingly, this 1 million ringgit threshold will be applied in more and more scenarios, right? So if you are intending to buy something in the lower end, do try and hunt out all these properties which are below million ringgit, which are still foreigner eligible. There are still some today. If you're not sure, come and contact me, DM me directly. I will point you in the right direction. Next question. What is the currency of the fixed deposit requirement by MM2H, right? Is it in US dollars or in ringgit? Now, although it's indicated here in US dollar, the amounts in the approval document, I'm quite sure that the Malaysian banks are going to looking at it in ringgit. So they will take that US dollar equivalent and convert it into ringgit, right? And that will go to the fixed deposit. It will be in a Malaysian bank. It cannot be in a Singapore bank or some other offshore bank, right? It will be in a Malaysia bank. In Malaysia, you can earn interest, and the interest can be credited to your bank account for your own usage, right? Fixed deposit rates in Malaysia right now, maybe about 3% ish plus plus, right, thereabouts. So that's what you're getting if you put the money into the bank. Next question is there any minimum income requirement? Like, must I have a minimum monthly income or annual income? Right, in the past, there used to be a monthly income, which was very, very high, which there was a period of time where the MM2H program was not popular because of this requirement. I think at that time, they required the applicant to have a 10,000 US dollars monthly income, which was totally illogical because retirees will not have active income. So unlikely it will be 10,000 US per month. So right now, this requirement is totally waived, right? There is no need to have any minimum monthly income in the current new MM2H program. Next question. Must I apply with MM2H agent? Can I apply to the government directly, right? Can I skip the agent and do it myself? The answer is no, right? The government requires you to apply for the MM2H program through an MM2H agent. The next question is, this RM 40,000 ringgit fee is too high. Can it be discounted? My understanding is that there is no discount. The fee is meant to be a flat fee, right? No discounts allowed. Must I live in the special economic zone? Can I buy the property in the special economic zone or own the property? But does it mean that I need to live there in Johor Bahru? Now, right now it's a gray area. It's not mentioned at all in the documents. So there's a lot of people who are considering, I just buy a property in Johor Bahru, but I may not necessarily live in Johor Bahru. I could be living in KL or Malacca or Penang, right? So right now it's not clear. It seems like you can buy the property, not necessarily need to live in Johor Bahru. Can I work, seek employment, or run my own business? Now, the MM2H program by itself doesn't grant any approvals for you to open a business or get a job, right? If you want to get a job or open a business, you have to apply separately, right? Go for separate approvals for that, right? You may need to open a company account, company business, a company, a private limited company, if you want to run your own business, and also if you need to seek employment, your employer must grant you employment pass for that purpose. The MM2H visa does not automatically grant you any rights to work or do business here. Can I go to hospitals or schools, right? Can I enroll my children in schools? Yes, you can, right? You can go to hospitals, you can enroll children in any schools in Malaysia. There is no restrictions here. So what other documents are required in the MM2H application? Now, let me explain in a high level. Basically, there's a form you fill up, right? A lot of identification, your name, your passport, there's where you live, right, etc. This kind of information, like any other government form. They will also require to do a health check on you, which you need to go to a private clinic and get a health check done on yourself to make sure that you're healthy. They will also require the country of your origin to provide a criminal check. Typically, this is done at the police station, where the police station will then indicate whether you have any criminal records in that country, right? And yeah, that's basically it. Will my MM2H visa get renewed, right, after the 10 years? Now, this is subject usually to the 10 years that you're staying, whether do you live as a proper person, right? So if you stayed in Malaysia for the 10 years in the initial 10 years visa, right, and you didn't create any problem, normally the renewal is almost quite guaranteed one, right? We've seen scenarios where foreigners, right, they got criminal case, right? Actually, one was like he got drunk at the pub, got into a fight, and that actually entered into the police records. So second time round, his visa actually didn't get renewed lah. So these are the kind of things that the government checks for renewal, right? Basically, if you're not a troublemaker, your visa should get renewed lah. There shouldn't be any reason to stop any renewals. Thank you very much. I hope this video covered most of the questions, frequently asked questions regarding Malaysia My Second Home program, right? If you are keen to apply, do drop me an email at my email here below. Send me your name, contact number, and your email address. And any questions that you might have about email in your email about what in particular you're looking out for in the Malaysia My Second Home program, right? If you are keen to apply for the special economic zone MM2H, you can also let me know in the same email there below, and I will direct you to my MM2H agent to contact you. Some of you have already contacted me earlier and already spoken to my Malaysia My Second Home agent, right? If you have not contacted me and you are now keen to apply for MM2H, do let me know. I will send you to my MM2H agent. In fact, we have a couple of MM2H agents now, not just one, we have two, right? If you're keen, I can arrange to talk to you, have them talk to you to go through in detail. Okay, the MM2H program. Right, but all announcements should be quite clear by the next government to government meeting on the 9th of December, which is next month, right? And hope to see you guys soon, right? If you like our content, do like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do share this video with your friends and family who are interested to find out more about retirement in Johor Bahru or buying property in Johor Bahru, anything in real estate related. I have lots of videos on my YouTube channel that cover different topics about retirement and real estate property buying there. So thank you very much. Hope to see you guys soon, and bye bye.